Good morning and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Daybreak. I'm your host, Delaney Baumus.
And I'm your host, Taylor Fife.
This morning's top stories start with what off-campus event did I recently cover with athletics?
And what nonprofit organization has recently gone on strike?
Wake up and smell the coffee, Pittsburgh, because here comes Daybreak.
Start your morning with us.
Only on Daybreak.
So Delaney, we've been having some pretty severe weather lately.
Right, it's kind of chaotic out there.
Yeah, a lot of thunderstorms, a lot of flooding. I know there was tornado warning or tornado watch earlier this week as well.
Yeah, I think one touched down even,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, so I hope it definitely gets better. So Kiara Fry, what do you have for us?
Well, guys, it is officially spooky season and the weather has been just that, but it's about to change. Starting today, we have a high of 71 and a low of 63, and we have a chance of rain both Friday and Saturday, but as we transition on into the rest of the week, the highs are going to go up into the 80s and summer is coming back for a little while. So you guys might want to get outside, go tailgating for the Steelers game if you plan on going to that. It'll be great weather for it. Back to you guys at the couch.
Well, with those high 80s, it doesn't look like I'm getting to my pumpkin patch anytime soon.
Yeah, not yet. Looks like the summer weather's here, but I'll take that over rain, so.
That's true, I guess.
Well, here's your city and campus news. UPMC hospital workers participated in a one-day strike yesterday. The workers marched from Smithfield Church to UPMC headquarters on Grant Street in downtown Pittsburgh. According to a news release, workers demanded that the health network end its history of violations of workers' rights. The news release also stated that the violations of workers' rights include, quote, illegal harassment and discharges of workers supporting a union, end quote. Workers who protested also wanted, quote, UPMC to implement the National Labor Relations Board's remedies for past illegal acts, end quote.
According to Pittsburgh's Chief Operations Officer Guy Costa, Pittsburgh's annual Columbus Day Parade is canceled due to the death of its longtime organizer, Hank Blum. The parade was supposed to take place this weekend in Pittsburgh's Little Italy. According to KDKA, the parade has been a tradition for more than 30 years. Costa says that he hopes the parade will return in some form next year. Costa also said it takes a lot of time and money to organize the parade every year, so he is considering having the parade every other year instead. According to KDKA, there is also a plan in the works to move the parade to downtown Pittsburgh in the future.
In other news, October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and local breast cancer organizations and charities around our area are planning events in order to increase awareness of the disease and to raise funds for its research. This Saturday at 10 a.m., the organization Making Strides of Greater Pittsburgh will be hosting a breast cancer walk. Registration will begin at 8:30 a.m. at the Highmark Stadium at Station Square. The event will include an opening ceremony and a food truck after-party. The 9th annual Komen Pittsburgh Paws for the Cure Dog Walk at Heartwood Acres will be held this Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Registration begins at 8:30. There will be family and pet-friendly contests and activities at the event.
Earlier this week, I had the opportunity to cover a Point Park event that happened off campus. This event benefited the Point Park University Athletics Department. Last week, Point Park alumni, faculty, and family teed off at Hickory Heights Golf Course to help raise money and support the athletic department. Last Thursday, the Point Park Athletic Department held their annual golf outing at Hickory Heights Golf Course in nearby Bridgeville. Golfers could come by themselves or come in a foursome to play a round of golf and support Point Park athletics.
What this golf outing does is all the proceeds go. We split it up evenly for the most part amongst the teams, and they do various travel, whether it be tournaments for the golf team or it benefits spring break trips for softball and baseball.
Golfers were able to buy raffle tickets for a chance to win a multitude of prizes donated by various teams and companies from Pittsburgh. Golfers were also able to bet against the Point Park golf team and see who was better. Many familiar faces come each year, only making the day more fun.
the greatest part about this, the 8th annual, means that we've seen a lot of familiar faces year in and year out. So we have alumni, we have friends of the programs, we have folks that are just that enjoy Point Park University, we have staff, faculty. So it is really a kind of everybody comes together at this golf outing.
As the golf outing wrapped up, many left the course with great memories, smiling faces, and even a hole-in-one.
Oh, yeah. Good shot. Bosco, good shot. Oh, no!
Reporting from Point Park University, I'm Delaney Bomas for Point News.
That was a great package, Delaney.
Thank you.
What was the best thing about covering that story?
I think the best thing for me personally was I'm an athlete, so seeing all those people there, buying raffle tickets, just having a good time and benefiting our program here it was really rewarding to see that, and it really made me feel good about being an athlete here at Point Park.
Great, that's awesome. Well, coming up after the break, what's new with regional sports?
And what controversy has the FDA cracking down on this company?
Stay tuned because you'll find all that and more only on Daybreak.
Go.
Go to our new website, uview.pointpark.edu.
Go, 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 go.
Join UView and find your herd.
Be like, join EOP. And 3, 2, join EOP.
Grab him now, or else I can
Yeah.
Join on point with politics.
3, 2, 1.
Join Pioneer Sideline.
Loneliest number that you'll ever do.
Welcome back to Daybreak. I'm Lindsay Carson with your latest regional sports update. The Pittsburgh Pirates played their last game of the season on September 30th against the Cincinnati Reds at the Great American Ballpark and won 6-5, finishing the season 82-79. The game started out with Reds catcher Tim Federowicz completely launching the ball into peanut heaven, which caused the Reds to get a jump on the Bucks right out of the gate with a lead of 3-0. The top of the sixth became a Marte Parte when Pirates outfielder Starling Marte hit a home run, making the score 4 Reds, Bucks 3. According to the MLB, Marte is just the third Pirate in Pirates history to reach 20 home runs and 30 steals in a single season. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at Daybreak on UView for all things Pirates during the offseason. Switching gears from the diamond to the gridiron, the Pittsburgh Steelers are just getting started, having played their 4th game of the season on September 30th against the Baltimore Ravens at Heinz Field. This game was Ben Roethlisberger's 100th regular season start, but fans didn't seem to be pleased with his performance. He had some incomplete passes during the game, and he also threw an interception late into the second half. The Steelers were down 14-0 at the end of the first quarter, but thanks to 2 field goals, a touchdown scored by Antonio Brown, and a 2-point conversion scored by James Conner, the Steelers tied it up by halftime. However, the Steelers couldn't seem to figure out how to score in the second half, which ultimately resulted in them losing the game with a final score of Ravens 26 and Steelers 14. TJ Watt is becoming a fan favorite as he has had many blitzes and other good defensive plays since the Steelers drafted him in 2017. But despite that, the general consensus among fans is that the defense could still use some work. It is rumored that Le'Veon Bell will be rejoining the team during their bye week. That would allow Bell to play 10 games during the regular season. According to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Bell will be, quote, eligible for either free agency or a more lucrative franchise tag in 2019, end quote. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. If you aren't too mad at the Steelers to watch them play again, they'll be playing against the Atlanta Falcons this Sunday at 1 o'clock p.m. at Heinz Field.
So I know you mentioned the rumors with Le'Veon Bell coming back and everything, so there also are rumors about him being traded. Have you heard any of those, and from what teams?
Yes, I have heard that the Eagles are very interested in Bell, but right now it's all talk, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. That's it for sports. Let's turn it over to the Daybreak News Desk with Haley Keys for her Daybreak debut. Haley, what's the latest in national news?
Thanks, Lindsay. Getting smoked, aren't we? The Food and Drug Administration gathered new data from the e-cigarette company Juul last Friday. According to the New York Times, this surprise inspection of Juul's headquarters will put pressure on the company, whose products are popular in high schools, and will help shed light on whether Juul's main target is minors. The FDA released a statement saying, quote, "The new and highly disturbing data we have on youth use demonstrates plainly that e-cigarettes are creating an epidemic of regular nicotine use among teens." Kevin Burns, Juul's chief executive officer, followed up by saying that the company, quote, "wants to be a part of the solution in preventing underage use and believes it will take the industry and regulators working together to restrict youth access." Despite these statements, this problem is continuing to grow and the results are shocking. While these devices are helping adults move away from smoking traditional cigarettes, teen use is growing steadily every day. A recent RAND study showed that teenagers who started using e-cigarettes eventually transitioned to traditional cigarettes as they grew older. The Center for Disease Control also reported that sales for e-cigarettes, Juul in particular, are higher than ever, skyrocketing from 2.2 million devices in 2016 to 16.2 million just this past year. This report included only sales in stores and did not count data from online shopping, which is a big part of Juul's market. The Financial Times claimed that the FDA created a new round of advertising directed at today's youth to warn them of the dangers of nicotine addiction. The administration also gave Juul 60 days to create and carry out a plan to reduce availability to teenagers.
So Haley, I know you mentioned nicotine addiction, but what are some of the other effects that juuling has on a person?
Well, there are definitely a lot of effects. You know, the basics could be lung cancer or just, trouble breathing. That can definitely cause effects. And like you said, nicotine addiction is definitely a very big problem. It can, detach a person from their family, and it can cause a lot of mental health problems too. So, we should also watch out for those things. That's it for National. Let's turn it back over to the couch with our hosts, Delaney and Taylor.
Thanks, Haley. Coming up after the break, what's the latest innovation Google is bringing to the table?
And what exciting movies are making a return to the box office? All that and more after the break.
What's one word to describe CAB?
Welcoming.
Community.
Creative.
Experiences.
Family. Openness.
Pineapple.
The Campus Activities Board is a student-run organization that consists of 7 different committees. Each focuses on event planning, marketing, and administrative activities. Join us in organizing the juiciest events on campus, from late-night bingo to festive dances to our team bonding meetings. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Point Park Cap, or like us on Facebook at Campus Activities Board at Point Park University.
Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. I'm Josh Troop alongside Jess Paterchak.
Defending his decision to kick out 15 Cuban diplomats from the United States.
Thanks, Allison. Fitness on Demand has returned to Point Park.
Residents fear that Mount Agung will have a repeat of 1963's eruption.
2-star NFL quarterbacks made the headlines this week after wrapping up.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. That's your news tonight. For Nick Tomarello, I'm Alex Grubbs. Have a great night.
Welcome back to Daybreak. I'm Sarah Ray Wisniewski with your Timely Tech News. For all of you commuter students who struggle with being on time to class every day, Google is here to help. Google announced Monday that the Google Maps app will now be more helpful than ever for commuters. According to CNET.com, Google will now be able to know your daily commute route and suggest to you how to get to your destination the fastest. Google can now keep you up to date on traffic and train delays. Users will even now be able to see where their bus and train is in real time. Do you hate not being able to change your music while you drive? This new update will also allow you to control Spotify, Apple Music, and Google Play right from the Google Maps app. This update will be rolling out sometime this week. From one tech giant to another, Alexa, microwave my popcorn. Yep, that is right. Just when you thought it could not be done, it can. We now live in a world where you indeed can talk to your microwave, thanks to Amazon Alexa. According to CNN, the Amazon company recently announced it will be adding its iconic Echo button to a microwave. This new product will be able to listen to users' commands and cook food accordingly. By using this hands-free product, you can tell Alexa when to stop and start cooking an item. The microwave itself is estimated roughly at $60 and will be available later this year. According to CNN, other products announced include a wall clock that sets reminders and an Echo Auto that attaches right to your car's dashboard.
Now, Sarah, do you really think this Amazon microwave thing is going to be realistic? I mean, you still have to put your food into the microwave and then say, Alexa, cook my food. Do you think it's going to catch on?
Like you said, it seems kind of funny the fact that you still have to put your food into the microwave, but I think people are honestly starting to try to change their whole houses into very technological with all these different Alexa products coming out. So I think some people that are already into that might really catch on to it, but I'm not so sure. We'll just have to wait and see. And that's it for your timely tech news this week. Let's turn things back over to Nicole Fascino for our entertaining entertainment news. Nicole?
The 44th season of Saturday Night Live premiered this past Saturday with Adam Driver as the host and Kanye West as the musical guest. The show opened with a cameo of Matt Damon playing Brett Kavanaugh during his recent testimony. The show also caught up on current events from the summer, such as the dances on Fortnite, the Serena Williams incident, and many other sketches. Pete Davidson was a guest on Weekend Update with Colin Jost and Michael Che to talk about his recent engagement to Ariana Grande. When teased about how Ariana is the breadwinner out of the two of them, Pete said, quote, "She pays like $60,000 for rent and I just stock the fridge." Switching gears further into Hollywood, everyone is wondering, is there going to be a Pitch Perfect 4? 4 of the cast members posted this picture on their Instagram accounts on Sunday, each of them holding up 4 fingers. Fans of the movie went crazy commenting on the pictures, saying things like, "I hope this means what I think it means." The stars did not give any hints away in their Instagram captions either as to what it means. Most of them just captioned 4 heart emojis in a row. Cast member Brittany Snow told Extra this month that they've had a great time filming the Pitch Perfect movies and that she thinks all of them would be game for making another. And off to the box office. A Star is Born, starring Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, premieres tonight in theaters. The romantic drama is based off of the 1976 original movie starring Barbra Streisand and Kris Kristofferson. According to IMDb's website, the movie is about a struggling singer named Allie, who is played by Lady Gaga, who is discovered in a bar by a seasoned musician named Jackson, who is played by Bradley Cooper. There are 2 big debuts being made in this film. Bradley Cooper is making his directing debut, while Lady Gaga is making her acting debut. Lady Gaga thanked Cooper in a press conference for choosing her to star in this movie with him, saying, quote, "I always wanted to be an actress. There can be 100 people in the room and 99 don't believe in you. You just need one to believe in you, and that was him."
Nicole, what has been some of the reaction from fans concerning Kanye West's appearance on SNL?
So we actually, whenever I was looking up the reactions from the SNL incident, one person put on Twitter that they think him dressed up in the water bottle was the happiest that he looked all year. And I know a lot of people were booing during his performance because a lot of his ideals don't match what SNL believes. So there was a lot of negative backlash, I can definitely tell you that. That's it for your entertainment wrap up. Let's head back over to the couch with our amazing hosts, Delaney and Taylor.
So Delaney, have you seen any of the Pitch Perfect movies?
I've seen the first 2, I believe. I don't believe I've seen the third, but I love the first 2 at least. So.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of them, so.
Well, we'll have to have a movie night or something because they're pretty good. And coming up after the break, we sit down with 2 cab members and talk about what's coming up in this semester. Stay tuned.
The United Student Government at Point Park University, working since the 1970s to solve the issues that matter to you. What concerns do you have about the university? Student life, safety, food service. Send us an email to studentconcerns@pointpark.edu or stop by our office on the 7th floor of the Student Center. You can also attend our weekly open meetings on Mondays at 3:15. Follow us on social media at USG_PPU for more. The United Student Government. By the students. For the students.
The Point Park Sports Network, bringing you live coverage of Pioneer Athletics on Stretch Internet, the home of the River States Conference and the NAIA. Subscribe today for complete access to the Point Park volleyball, baseball, basketball, and soccer teams. Watch live and on-demand broadcasts and don't miss a minute of Point Park Athletics. Head to pointparksports.com/live for broadcast listings. The Point Park Sports Network, your streaming home for Point Park Athletics.
3, 2, 1.
Please visit our website. Please, it's a nice website. Please visit our website. Please.
If you have ever watched television, whether accidentally or on purpose, UView is for you.
Welcome back to Daybreak. Today we have two special guests from the Campus Activities Board here on Point Park University's campus. We have Morgan Seeley, Pioneer Series Coordinator, and Micah Rexroad, Experienced Pittsburgh Coordinator. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So for those of who don't know, that was worded really weirdly, I apologize. What is CAB? What do you guys do?
So CAB is the Campus Activities Board. We provide a bunch of fun events for students on CAB on campus and off campus.
Hey, so Morgan, you mentioned that you are the Pioneer Series Coordinator. So what specifically does that mean and what type of events do you do?
So Pioneer Series, we have 3 events a month. We do Coffee House, Point Park After Dark, and Bingo every month. Coffee House is the first Friday of every month. Point Park After Dark is the second Saturday of every month, and Bingo is the third Thursday of every month.
And Micah, same question for you. You're the experience coordinator, so what does that entail? What kind of
So
events?
basically what mine is it's events that sort of highlight the city of Pittsburgh. So every event that we do has to somehow incorporate the city. So my campus events are usually more focused towards off-campus just so students can actually get out into the city, but we do like to have on-campus as well where we can bring parts of the city into the campus as well for those who may not be from around here or are and just really enjoy being here as well.
That's really exciting.
Okay, so this question is for both of you guys. So what type of events are upcoming?
Okay, well I will start. So we are having a murder mystery night. It is on October 11th. And that is basically going to be, that is our special events coordinator, Elise. She's basically putting on an event where actors are going to come in and students are going to get involved in sort of like a murder mystery party type event. There's going to be some free food there, and basically they're going to go through like a script and a dialogue of figuring out who is the murderer, what happened at the event, and it's going to be really cool. I'm actually really excited for that. It's a new thing that we're doing, so it's definitely really exciting for that. And personally, for one of my events that's upcoming is Fright Night. We did that last year, but we decided to bring it back this year because it was a really big hit last year. So students will buy tickets through the sale office, and that's going to be October 26th. So those will be going on sale soon. So students will definitely be seeing posts about where they can buy those and how and things like that coming up.
Perfect. Cool. And what kind of events do you have coming up?
So we have Point Park After Dark coming up. It'll be the 13th, which is the Saturday. It's from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. The theme of this Point Park After Dark is actually an escape room. So you can bring your friends and try to escape. We'll have 2 different inflatable escape rooms coming to campus.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. And then another really big event that we have every year, done by our Spirits and Traditions team, is, of course, the Halloween dance. It's at Sky Bar over in Southside this year. It's on the 25th. And starting on October 8th, you'll be able to buy your tickets at the sale office until the day of at 6 p.m. Tickets will be $5 at the sale office and then $7 at the door, and tickets for guests are $10.
Okay, that's really cool. That's really cool that you're doing it at the Sky Bar. I know you guys try to do a different location almost every year. So speaking of students like being there and getting involved, how else can they get involved with CAB, whether it's on the board or anything else like that?
So the executive board is open to all students. So they usually open the applications for that sometime in the spring semester. So that'll be posted on our social media somewhere on how you can apply. It's a really easy process. Through there, our advisor, Brad Kowalczyk, will contact the individual, and they'll go through a sort of group interview process with a bunch of people, and then they handpick the vice president and the executive director, and they sort of go through and help pick the rest of the executive board. And also just students who don't really want to dive into the executive board just yet, they can join as general board members. We have 7 different committees that students can join on. There's 3 on the marketing side and 4 on the programming side. So based on what students are interested in, they can get involved into one of those. Or just going up to events, showing up, having fun. That's still a way to get involved with CAB. Following us on our social media and things like that, keeping up to date, are definitely a lot of ways that students can get involved with us.
That's a lot of positions that are open for students. That's really amazing.
So Micah, I know that I was just at one of your events earlier this week, and it was really cool. There was a lot that went into that. So can you just explain what all goes into planning an event like that and type of efforts that you do?
Yeah, so we actually start planning our events 2 months in advance. So we have to do sort of the CES forms and fill out marketing forms and stuff like that 2 months before the event will happen. And so what goes into that is we sort of give the details of the event, what activities are we going to try to have, what food maybe are we going to have, and themes. And that all goes into those forms, and then they create our marketing campaigns off of those. So after that, we just start going through maybe if we want decorations at the event, we'll start going through what decorations do we want to have, do we want to have outside vendors, do we want food catered through Culinar and things like that. So we sort of go through the process of what's going to be there, what do we not want to be there. And then from there, if you are having an outside contracted vendor, like she does for a lot of her Point Park After Dark events, so we'll have to get into contact with them, discuss sort of how it's going to be set up, when are they coming. And then we have to go through sort of if the location isn't available, you have to have a second location, or if there's rain, at my event we had rain, so we had to do the rain location. So they try to make sure that that's always something that is set up beforehand, so we don't have a sort of hard decision on the day of the event. They always try to take care of that beforehand. But there's definitely a long process that goes into it, and the details can get a little confusing at times, but there's definitely always somebody there that can help out with something or guide you along the way. So.
Well, the results are always amazing. Every CAB event I've ever been to has been off the top and awesome. Thank you. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. So thank you so much for coming out to Daybreak and sharing all this amazing stuff with us. Make sure you follow them on all your social media, Point Park CAB, am I correct? Okay, Point Park CAB for all of them, and find us on Facebook at Daybreak on UView.
That's it for Daybreak. Tune in next week for the news you need. I'm your host, Taylor Fife.
And I'm your host, Delaney Baumus. Hoping your news is good news.